I'm using the Insta360 for a lot of videos that I'm filming with my motorcycle, but on my last road trip, a small accident happened to her, and this is how my Insta360 looks like after falling off my bike. Both lenses on both sides are completely damaged, scratched, some parts missing. And of course, if you see the camera looking like this, you cannot repair it. This is completely damaged. You cannot exchange the lenses. Yeah, and one problem was I didn't have any lens guards on the camera. You can get some lens guards for the X3 and you can put it over it, but I didn't do it. So that's the result of my last road trip. Quite expensive road trip. Completely damaged X3. I was using the camera a lot, so I'm really missing it. There are so many perspectives and angles that you can only do with this camera. I reached out to Insta360 and they have been so kind to send me the new model, the Insta360 X4, to test it out. There are, of course, a lot of differences between the new model, the X4, and the old X3. And I will tell you all the differences later, but first, let's unbox the camera. And afterwards, I will do a ride with the new camera to see how it works, if there are really some quality differences too. Of course, I will show you some of the different angles that you can use this camera for on a motorcycle and all the different mounts that you need for it. Let's see what's inside the box. It's completely new, so I didn't open it before. Yeah, here it is, the new Insta360 X4. Feels a little bit bigger than the old one. The good thing is I still have the old one here. I didn't throw it away, so we can do a comparison now. The new one is a little bit bigger. The display is bigger. And I think, yes, of course, the battery is bigger too, so you cannot use the old one. Anything else seems to be the same, but let's check what else is in the box. Oh, there's a small bag for the camera. Thermo grip cover. There's some place for SD cards. Here's a space for the cable, USB-C to USB-C. So this thermal grip cover here should reduce the temperature of the camera. And Insta360 sent me a few things that I need to mount the camera on my bike. There are some new mounts, and let's have a look over here. This is the first one, a heavy-duty clamp. Okay, let's see what's inside this box. Oh, this feels good. This is interesting. This is very good. Hope you can see it. This is something like a key, because to tighten this screw here with your fingers, especially when it's cold, sometimes it's really hard. So you can move the head here, then you can screw the camera on top. This is to tighten the screw. And of course you need a selfie stick. This is the 1 meter version. There are also longer versions available. And this is new. I didn't have this on my last one. This is a partnership of Insta360 and Zeroe. So this selfie stick is very light, different than the other ones that I had before. Very light and absolutely rugged. And it's made out of carbon fiber, so very good. They improved the selfie stick. So I have the stick, I have the mount, where I can mount it somewhere on my handlebars, crash guards, wherever. And then on top you put the camera. But I will show you the different mounting positions on my bike later. And this is very good, a motorcycle selfie stick support clamp, because if you only put this, depends on where you put it on your bike. And sometimes if you really put it in a very long position and the camera is on top, of course it gets heavy. And depending on the surface where it's sticking, sometimes it bends down. Yeah, so it's moving a little bit. And what they made now, and this is really clever, is a support clamp. I have to check it because this could be very interesting to get the camera in a more stable position. And this is a clamp. And so if you put the camera on your crash guards on the motorcycle, then you have a support, a secondary mounting point. And this gives, of course, much more stability. Quite curious to see how it looks. Ooh. So the same as the heavy-duty clamp, this is also heavy-duty. Oh, you can feel it. That's a lot of weight. And of course, you can use the key from the heavy-duty clamp again to tighten it. For example, you put this somewhere on your crash guards on the motorcycle. I will show you later on my bike. Then you can put the second clamp somewhere else to support the selfie stick. And sometimes it's a little bit wobbly if it's extended to the maximum. And so you can give it a secondary support point. Very clever, very handy, and very heavy duty. And now the most important thing, the premium lens guard. This is what I needed on my old camera. If I would have put these, I think the camera would be still okay. So let's see what's inside. So you don't have to stick them on the camera this time. And before I get any damages on my lenses, now they have these new lens guards. And the difference to the ones from the X3 is that you can screw them on the camera. Just put them like this, then twist, and then they are secure. And just in case the camera falls down, the camera is protected with these lens guards now. And if they break, the lenses are still protected. So for sure, I will keep them on my camera just in case it falls off. But now I think with these heavy duty clamps and the new selfie stick, the carbon fiber, I think it will be more stable. So these are the accessories now that I will try out on my motorcycle. Before I test the camera on my motorcycle, I will tell you a few details about it. So the major difference between the new camera and the X3 is the new sensor. It has a resolution of 8K. So you can film in 8K, 30 frames per second. The old one was 5.7K with 30 frames per second, which was very good. So I had no complaints about the quality. But now with 8K, of course, you have a much better quality. You can crop in more. And if you are using 5.7K, you have 60 frames per second, which is quite handy if you want to do some slow motion shots. The battery life is longer now. Of course, it's a bigger battery. And you have, I think now it's 135 minutes. And before with the old one was 81 minutes. And if you use the camera on your chest mount for motovlogging, then you can use the single lens mode in 4K 60 now. On the X3 it was 4K 30. So also an improvement. I will charge the batteries now and then I will test the new camera on my motorcycle and the different mounting options with these new clamps here. So here we are outside now to test the camera and the different mounts. I will start with this mount, the heavy duty clamp. I have something on the top. This is a special stick holder for this mount so that you can put it in a different angle and different position. Very easy to install. Just loosen it a little bit and then you can push the stick inside. So because I have a crash bar here at the front, I have a very good place to mount the stick holder. So just put the clamp here. Don't have to tighten it so much and it's already very solid. Now I will tighten this screw here. And of course I always have this special key here that you can use to tighten it even a bit more. Also this one here, but I will keep it loose for a moment. So now I have to put the stick inside here. Maybe a bit more to the front like that. So that's good so far. But if you have a look at the stick here, it's still wobbling a little bit if you expand it completely. And now I can use this second clamp, the stabilizer, mounted somewhere here on the top. I will use the second clamp to put it around the stick. Tighten everything with a special key. Much more easy, especially when it's a little bit colder like now. And now this is a very solid mount here. And if you look at the stick, definitely much more solid and not moving that much. And the next step is to mount the camera on top of the stick. Just screw it on top like that. And then take off the rubber protection of the lenses. Yeah, and that's it. Then I can just turn on the camera and I'm ready to go. So just switch on the camera now. I will show you the settings in a minute. And now just do a small test ride. Yeah, and one thing I didn't mention so far, I don't have a remote, so as you can see the camera is a little bit far away, so if I want to turn it on, I just have to put my hand up and then camera is starting to record. So it has a gesture control, which makes it very easy to start and stop the camera when you're riding a motorcycle. Yeah, and this is the angle that you get in this perspective in the post-production with the software from Insta360. You can change the angles, of course. You can show a little bit of the side of the motorcycle. You can show the front, where you're riding, the direction. And of course, you can film yourself while riding the motorcycle. So this is a very good angle. The camera is not moving that much, so the mounts are really rock solid. And the carbon fiber selfie stick, also very solid, not moving that much, not swinging like other sticks. So I'm quite happy with this position here. So, and let's say you want to change the position. I just want to stop recording, put up your hands. This is really cool. This gesture control works very, very good. So let's take the heavy duty mount and put it somewhere here on the handlebars, like that. I will leave the selfie stick mount here. Just put the stick inside. There we go. Face it in my direction. Camera's running, so now I'm riding, and if I want to start the X4, then I just hold up my hand and you can see it's starting. So another angle now. Now there's not that much of the motorcycle in the view. It's just if you want to talk while you are riding. So another interesting perspective. Of course, you can also switch the view to the front so that you can see where you are riding. See more of the road and the landscape. So this is an angle on the handlebar. Of course, you can do this without the stick. Then it's a little bit closer down here. It doesn't disturb your view that much. I just have to loosen this bolt here. Now, perfect. Then this one, I have to stop the camera. Thank you. This is really nice. So I think you don't need the remote. Of course, you don't have the GPS data, which is quite handy when you are riding in the mountains. And this is the same position on the handlebar, but just the camera. Just put it straight like that. So another angle, and so I can talk to the camera. My view is not disturbed in any way. Let's try another angle of the camera, like this. So I can film the switch gear here, and I have an angle on the front wheel. And especially in this position now, when you have the camera very low down, then for sure you need these lens guards. Yeah, now you have an angle down there, which is again completely different. I can show the front wheel while I'm riding. And of course I can show my foot here when I'm shifting. So another very interesting angle. Could also put it somewhere here on the back. And if I want to tighten it a little bit more, then I take this special key here. The screw is moving a lot, and now nothing is moving anymore. So, perfect. I should see the suspension now, and the bottom part of the motorcycle. And of course I could use this angle here and put the selfie stick here to have a side view. We can try this now. The screw down here has to be really tight, and that's why you get this Allen key here. This one is to tighten the screw here. So now I can extend the selfie stick. You always have to check the position of the camera lenses, because this side of the camera, these are the stitching lines where the pictures are put together. So always keep the direction that you want to film to the front of the lenses. Of course, you shouldn't do this on a normal road because your motorcycle gets too wide and you don't want to hurt someone. We check this angle here on the side of the motorcycle. Of course, you should not ride like this on normal streets because it's too dangerous. You can hit a car or pedestrian or whatever. But I think this is a very interesting angle because you see the motorcycle from the side as if there would be a motorcycle or a car filming you. So very interesting angle, and of course you can change the angle in post-production and show the front, show the back. And this is what makes these 360 cameras so versatile. You have so many possibilities in the app or on the computer to change positions afterwards. So it's one camera for so many angles. And of course, like this, you can get some very dynamic shots. So what else can we do? Of course, we can also use the camera for the backside view. And now I have this interesting back view. It's like the pillion view from the back, and you can see the landscape, the direction that I'm riding, as well as me and the motorcycle. So I think also a very interesting angle. So if you are creative, you can choose so many different angles. So endless possibilities, especially for motovlogging, to capture interesting perspectives. For sure, this is a perspective that I also like. So this third-person view from the back, also very interesting because it shows the landscape as well as the motorcycle riding. And if you are doing some very dynamic riding on some twisties, then I think this will look very interesting and very dynamic. And even I did not use the second clamp, which I could put over here somewhere to make it a little bit more stable. The camera sits very solid on the back, so I have to stop now. So, and the next way to use the camera is the chest mount. Then I can use the Insta360 X4 as a camera on the chest, which gives a very nice angle. But you have to change the setting of the camera. You have to go to camera, into single lens mode here, and then video. And now we are in 4K 30. So this is the angle with the chest mount. It's like having an action camera on your helmet, but you don't have the weight on your helmet. And then you can put a Bluetooth microphone somewhere inside your helmet and record the audio. So you can also use the X4 as a motorcycle vlogging camera. Very good angle for the camera, I think, and what makes it so pleasant is that you don't have the camera on your helmet, which is always some added weight. And of course, also when you are stopping somewhere and you want to tell something about your bike or about the landscape, then you have the camera on your chest and you have a very good angle. So I think this is very pleasant. I will show you my settings now. I'm in 8K 30. Of course, you can change it to 5.7K up to 60 frames, or in 4K up to 100 frames, just in case you want to do some slow motion. The lens is on Mega. Of course, you can change to Ultra and D-Warp, but I leave it in Mega view. If you switch to the left, if you go on color, then you can change the color profile. I'm in flat now. You can go to vivid or standard, and then you can go to the EV settings, white balance, and of course exposure, and then can choose your settings. If you swipe down, then you have all the camera settings like gesture control. If you have some lens guards, you can select them here. Of course, you can get to all the camera settings here. SD card formatting. Here's the remote, here are headphones, microphones. All the functions are here in this menus, very easy to find. Just scroll down, then you have all the settings. If you want to change from 360 view to the single mode, then just go on camera. And on the upper part here, you can find single lens, video, and then you have the single lens mode. So these are just my basic settings. So if you are interested in all the details and all the menus of the camera, then just leave me a message down in the comments. So what is my conclusion? I think the Insta360 X4 is a great camera, especially for motovlogging. You can use it in so many different ways and so many angles that you can capture. And especially now with these detachable lens guards, a very good feature that I will use. I will for sure get a second pair. I can absolutely recommend this camera for motovlogging. So if you are interested in the X4, I will put a link down in the description. And of course, there you will find all the new mounting accessories too. And if you have any questions about the camera, just write it down in the comments. And if you liked the video today, please give me a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel, would be really appreciated. And if you are riding, ride safe. I see you in the next one. Take care and cheers.